Fuck yeah. Let's start.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Hey, we're at the Lord Gladstone.
We are.
Welcome. Well, I'm welcomed into your space, so thank you so much.
No worries.
Why did you pick here? What's the go?
This is Hammy's Haven.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Our haven.
Yeah.
No, I think we picked this room just because, like, well, I mean, us and Illequip have been working heaps together at the moment, and like, our next single coming out together, our Runaway single was recorded in here, and I don't know, we've been putting heaps of work in this room and stuff, and I feel like it's a good place to show where we're making all that stuff
Totally.
from now.
Bit of an inside view, you know?
Yeah, I think it's changed a lot from like when we were in Katoomba, when I was in Katoomba,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
here, like, this is all crazy studio space
That's
now.
straight
and-
up.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just recording in my room with a laptop and a dodgy like USB mic. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
coming
yeah.
Here, it's like,
Yeah.
You got
It
shit
was
going
awesome.
on.
Yeah, straight
Options,
up.
like,
Straight up.
Yeah.
like that's what the city provides, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you've just got this whole plethora of, like, opportunity.
Yeah.
And both of you just come from, like, smaller environments, like
Yeah.
Canberra,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And mountains.
Yeah.
How's that transition been, like, when you first moved? What were the challenges? What was it like having to readjust?
I feel like Canberra and the mountains are really similar in heaps of
Yeah,
ways.
100%.
And like,
For me, it was like I love Canberra to death. Shout out Canberra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking 2614. No. But for me, it was like, cause like I'm a hospo head. You know, I've been in hospo since I was like 13.
Yeah.
So for me, like a lot of the people are like tradies, polys, and it was like such a live for the weekend sort of vibe. You know what I mean? I found
Yeah.
it really hard to like, I don't know, be creative all the time. It's not like I'm being creative all the time now, but I
Yeah.
just like. Sydney just opened up a lot more like opportunity, like meeting people. Like I bumped into Hammy on the street, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's it.
and it's just crazy. Like Sydney's just a whole different dynamic with like just different people and
Yeah.
meeting and opportunities. It's,
I feel like also like coming from that small town stuff, you know, like it's so easy to know everyone who does stuff, you know, like, and you feel like everyone around you, if they're doing music, you know them, you know what their sound is, or
Yeah.
you know, and you can make an assumption of what like is good to work with or not. Whereas here, it's like you just get pulled out of your comfort zone so much, like.
yeah,
And like there, I'd only be around musicians who did like hip hop or rap, and here it's like I'm around so many more people now, and like I don't even listen to that much rap. Like I listen to heaps of rap, but
yeah, straight
I
up.
listen to so much more like variations of music from meeting different crews of people down here, and it's just
Yeah.
like opened us both up. I reckon.
Yeah.
Like,
Have you found that sort of, like, hip-hop aside, like, other music that you're taking in, is that influencing what you guys are making?
Oh, 100%.
yeah, and also like just a familiar mindset. Like before, I used to think like if you thought in a hip hop mindset and you did music like that, you should only surround yourself with these like-minded hip hop dudes to make it
Yeah.
happen, which is so wrong. You know, like everyone in a creative streak, whether they're an artist or whatever's going on, it all clicks, and I feel like that worked for us. You know, like
Yeah.
even this album we've got coming out, like.
Right.
There's like falsetto singing and all this different
Sick.
crazy shit that like, cause Benny's like mad singer, real talented
Sick.
singer.
Cool. I was going to ask who's doing this falsetto. It's you. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's
That's
it.
so
That's
sick,
it.
man.
Yeah, killing it. But it's
Yeah.
just open. We're
It's
just
funny. It's like a very. We'll get onto that later on, but like it's very experimental. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I'm
We're just
super
fucking
keen.
around. You know what I mean? Put some beats on, got some beats sent over from homies, and just
Yeah.
Yeah.
man, it was a good time.
Yeah,
What sort of
Jam
stuff,
Boys.
like, are you looking for when you hear a beat? Or is it, like, the producer and you know their vibe and their style, you're happy to take it? Or is it you're hearing something
I think
specific?
It's also the like specific people we want to work with. So like these beats came from one of Benny's homies in like through Canberra Boys,
Sick.
some of them, and then a couple are from Hazy and stuff like that. But we just like keeping it in the circle, you know, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
keeping it about, you know, who we know and what we want to do, and keep the sound exactly how we want it, you know.
Yeah, so it is very much like a you know what you're wanting to hear. Like,
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
yeah,
directing.
definitely.
Yeah, cool.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's funny because like when we made this thing, you know, like drill, and there's all these trending ways of doing rap right now, and I feel like this album's like everything that isn't, you know, like
Yeah,
there's-
fuck yeah.
like there's,
That's
we
right.
tried to sing and like have all these lovey bits and all these different bits that are like so far from this like dominated scene, which there's so many real people doing it, you know, and shout out to all those people that are real as fuck doing it, 'cause it's great
Yeah.
for the scene.
Totally,
But
yeah.
then there's like 70% of these like young kids that are just talking about weapons and all this shit that
Yeah.
they're not around, and if you're not around it, it's so
Why are you talking
fake,
about it?
you
Yeah,
know, like,
totally. Yeah,
This
yeah.
is like, this is the time to like try and make it real again for us, I think, and that's what we're trying to do, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
That's
Yeah.
fucking sick, man. I mean, yeah, like this whole transition into the city and stuff, like paint us a picture of you guys beforehand.
There's a massive avenue of people from Canberra and from the Blue Mountains that have moved here and done so well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got cousins and family and all these people that have come here and done so well. And even for us, like knowing like the fundamentals
Yeah.
and like
The mountain scene is
Hermitune
very
and,
like,
you know,
yeah, rich.
even now like Boomchild, these young dons that came from the mountains, it's like
Yeah.
these little bros, they're down here now, and just seeing how it all develops. And Sydney's got this crazy music potential. Like it's like there's gas ignited, you know, you just need to like
Yeah,
set it alight. It's all
totally.
here for us, you know. Like
Yeah. I mean, in the past few years, like, we've seen systematic slashing of the ability to ignite that sort of shit.
Yeah.
First, you got, like, the lockout laws and shit, and then right as that shit gets lifted, you've got Corona.
Yeah.
How have
So
that affected you guys, like, as musicians, also just business-wise?
Yeah.
Like, what's that doing to you?
With me, to be honest, it was like, so I've been like a workhorse my whole life, you know, you get multiple hospital jobs. So for
Yeah.
me, the COVID situation was actually good
Yeah,
in the sense of
yeah.
like, I was able to put out my first track. I've got so much content, and I could actually, you know, and
Spend the
wasn't
time.
just late, spend the time and actually like work on my craft sort of thing.
Yeah.
So for me to be, and like I'd only done like one show that was pretty dismal before all this, you know what I mean? Like,
Bless the honesty, yeah.
No, straight up.
Yeah.
So I don't even really know what it's like to have a fucking good night performing. But in saying that, Hammy's taken me under his wing, and I'm just keen to perform, man, straight up.
It's funny, like there's this weird illusion of like almost time stopping through Corona for every like creative. It's like people who are doing art and stuff like painting are still getting out there now, but everyone I know in the music industry is like mentally fucked and just waiting. Like, you know, but as you said, like for us, like I think our level of music where we were before, like before this whole thing, we were starting to get on a build, or like My Name Was, and like then now Benny and I working together. I feel like it's the perfect time, as you said, that gave us this little window to just focus on what we want to make.
Yeah.
Focus on our sound, and like it's kind of working perfectly. That it's getting to 30 people rooms and now opening. There's word of like apparently you'll be able to stand up next, like coming in the next few weeks and put a show on where you can have 30 people vibing.
I can't wait to stand up at a gig again.
Yeah.
It's been so fucking weird having to stay seated. How the fuck do you sit down and
Try
dance?
being a guy working behind the bar, that's just not
Yeah.
every fucking shift.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry,
I'm
I hate this
sorry.
guy.
Yeah.
I'm the COVID
I want to dance
marshal.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
straight up. Walking around with high vis. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
so
man.
bad.
You
man.
just gotta rep it, you know?
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Oh, people understand now.
Ooh.
Oh, there we go.
Set falling apart.
Yeah, shout out to gang, Illequip Squadron.
Yeah. Cool. Well, the evolution of Aussie hip hop, like as a sound, as a style.
Yeah.
From your experience, like being in it for the last few years, where has it been? Where's it going? Obviously, you're like trying to branch out with these different sounds and shit. So, what's your perspective?
I feel like Australian hip hop used to be like just Australian hip hop, you know? It used to sound like only what it sounds like here. You'd listen to like American and UK music, and like even drill was this massive thing that bridged like UK and America. It started sounding all the same, and like there was like this universal sound. And I feel like it wasn't probably until like even like the Husky 1-4 people that brought it all the way out and made it this universal sound that it had like any chance of being universal, like. And that's the whole drill vibe, which is like that's the golden side of this drill thing, you know, like that drill shit, you know what I mean? Like it's just unified the whole world, and like there's all these remixes and stuff happening now.
There's also so many hidden gems as well, like within the drill movement, and like the whole like street underground, like that's mad, and it's like gotten it to worldwide exposure, but there's also like so many, like, you know what I mean? I reckon like the underground scene's gonna pop off as well, you know what I mean? Like it's all coming. That's
right, and it's like finally the limelight's on Australia for once, you know, like, and it took so long. Man, I used to go to hip hop gigs when I was like 17, was when we first started playing hip hop gigs. And I'd go there and I wasn't even like allowed to be at the pub after the gig and walk
Perform
in.
And leave.
And then to like growing a little bit older, coming down here and seeing like everything change, like bang, you know, and then like going to the massive venues and seeing this shit happen. It's crazy. Like it's just like, it's like NWA all again happening in Australia with these guys, you know, and it's like pride to these people, like hats off, man, because like the same shit's happening here as it happens everywhere else. And it's finally being broadcasted accurately, I reckon, you know, and giving us like, or giving our country the glow that we need, and giving everything, you know, the shine that it needs.
There's some fucking killer musicians in Australia, hey?
Craziness.
Hip hop and everything else. Like, it's actually fucking nuts. Like, some of the talent that
and that's another funny thing saying that, because like for ages, like everything else was massive from Australia. All these bands, rock bands, you know, like that whole vibe. And then like, even like stickies and like all that sort of vibe. There was so many different niches. But then now that hip-hop's, it's like the last one now that's like being accepted. It's like Australia's really on this universal platform. I don't feel like it's easier to make it anywhere in the world now. I feel like it's all about the music now, more so than the vibe of where you are.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
The internet does that too, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
it's
just
crazy.
like, what's the word? Globalization.
Yeah.
It's like...
And also this
part of the
remix trend, like, everyone started doing these Spotify remixes where someone will have this massive blow-up track.
Yeah.
And then it gets remixed all over the world, and like that Simba song from the UK vet, like got redone by like Hooligan Hess and Young and Lips, these two guys from Australia, and it's like bang. And for young people that don't know, that's just marketing teams talking together and making it happen. It looks like the connection's made, and it's like Australia, UK, and then it's just happened again. ASAP Ferg, 1-4, like bang, bang, bang. You know, like, and that they're names that can't, like, you can't re-bridge that gap. Once that's open, it's like, well, people can't say shit about Australia now, you know. And it's so lucky for us. We're at this time where like we just got this album we made. Yeah. Everything's happening for Australia. I can see all my friends around here killing it. Everyone's albums dropping everywhere, and it's like we're just waiting for our little time, you know.
It's the end of the year.
Yeah.
We're gonna drop a bomb on you motherfuckers.
For the actual album, like, I feel like it's a testament to both of us meeting up together and trying to make everything that we were uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
And like
100%.
trying to sing and like trying to do everything, because like we're not like we respect this drill wave and respect the wave of everything that's happening, but like we want to take it further than that. And take it or change it up
as well.
Yeah, you know, and like I feel like it's just honest to who we are. There's lots.
It's not me though.
We're trying to make something honest to who we are and what we do, and like it's just going to be heaps of fun. We've got heaps of good team involved, and like the whole project was mad. We like went out to Terrigal, my homie was staying out there for a while, and recorded the whole thing out there. A little beach getaway, you know, a couple of days, little riding trip.
Nice and bright. So it's named after a street?
Prospect Street, So I was living on Prospect Street in Newtown, like, the back end of last year and the start of this year. And then, Hammy and I bumped into each other in King, and, like, we... As you know each other, and so you like know someone before you know someone. Hammy, yo, and then literally like a week later, we've got like our first 3 tracks. You know what I mean? He was over, straight up. It was just weird. It just happened like straight up.
That's it.
Like good collaborations, you know, like it can really fuel one another. It was just so natural
as well, you know. We weren't even like planning on doing an EP. We would like hang out heaps and like just keep making music, and then like. We looked back after like an under a bender once and we're like, bro, we've got like 6 or 7 songs here. And we're like, fuck, we might as well just do it.
Shout out the boys.
That
was a good night.
But we weren't even planning on doing a project, you know what I mean? But then like we went back and looked back, and we have all these tracks, you know what I mean? We're like, fuck, we actually have something here.
Yeah.
And went from there. And
share it. There's no reason to not share it when you've made it all. It's all there.
I feel like, we were just fucking around, like recording on this shoddy little mic. We were we were recording on this like program you used to record like podcasts on. Soundtrap.
It's like out there, it's just dodgy. Straight up.
Just seeing what would happen. But then, and then like my boy Hazy, like shout out fucking Hazy, he's like my ultimate motherfucking bro. Like he's like the Illequip Don. He like brings the best out of everyone in the studio, you know, like. And we made all these demos, and I was like, fuck man, we need to make this a drop. And I called Hazy, and I'm like, bro, I've just met this dude Benny, he's the fucking prodigy. I'm like, we need to link up and make some shit happen. And he's just like, right, no worries, like let's get it going. And then just got us both in the studio, and like that, he just elevates everything. Like
100%.
Bro,
before I met, like he would push me. I remember standing here like, and like you'll like be half-assing, but you don't even know you're half-assing because you've never even pushed yourself that far. And he's like, bro, like I don't even know what happened there. Like when we were recording, you just like he like releases that gets the super saiyan out of you, like especially with the singing, like
that's it. And it's also once you start, it's this point where you're recording and like you want to back yourself and feel like you got it, you know. And he's just not scared to delete takes. Like he'll just keep record the whole thing and be like, that's it. And he's like, bro, like, and he'll just delete it. And he's like, it's gone. Like you can do better than that. Or it needs to be like this, but it's good. It fucking builds us up.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he's
and
hard.
Like Benny's voice, like this boy goes high, low, fucking sideways, everything, you know. So like for me, I can record things easy with one take, and it's all like has to sound like I want it to. Whereas like all these different tones of Benny's stuff is like you need like every different little take, you know. And like he just has the patience to be like, all right, let's break this this verse into 24 little recording bits.
Do this bit
for him, but fuck, like it just gives it this elevation stage.
Yeah,
you know, like,
that extra effort, like.
Yeah.
So having people like the Illequip crew and shit, like having that sort of shit around dude, who made that?
This is I don't even know who painted this, but this is one of Lee's friends. So Lee's the guy that runs Illequip.
Thanks, Lee.
Shout out Lee, spend love.
Cheers,
Mad
Lee.
Dog. He's in Darwin at the moment.
Hope you're enjoying it up there. Illequip, like they've really been there for you guys. Tell me, like when that introduction sort of came in for you, like first I suppose, and then you've like come in, but like when how?
Yeah, I met Lee at Oxford Art Factory when I was like 17, and I wasn't meant to be playing. I probably shouldn't say that, but I wasn't meant to be playing there. But
it's alright.
We started playing gigs ages ago, like with the other side, and you know he was always around setting up like tiny little merch desks at every hip hop gig there was, trying to sell hats and trying to sell this stuff, like, and it was a tiny little range, you know, like even all the shirts had the first 1,000 written on them, like it was like the first little bit, you know.
That's
like
cool.
And our first
That's
ever
a good
gig,
idea.
our first ever gig, we went there and started talking to him, and he's like, "Man, we just started this thing, you know, like," and gave Josh and I a hat when we were in the crew at the time. Then and it was like, whoa, you know, we all gassed there,
Free hat.
keeps going, it was sick. And then like through the years, I've just been so involved with everyone, and you know, I think like I eventually, when I flew to Brisbane and met up with like all the No One lads and made all this stuff with Smack, and then like Lee just flew up too. And like Illequip and No One were always around. Like every time No One comes to Sydney, I mean, they haven't in a long time because of this corona shit.
Yeah.
But every time they come down and like Toby and all the boys are playing, like, you know, Lee's always there, and he just puts in all this crazy work, networking. Everyone knows him. All the Perth boys and everyone knows him, and he's put in all this work. Like, so I just feel like that work grind just doesn't go unnoticed, you know. And I feel like he's for me, coming here and like and offering me this studio space, like this is Illequip Studio. They're just like, whatever I need it for, whenever I need to come in, they're like, it's fine. There's always someone to record for me, like video stuff, photo stuff, and for Benny as well. You know, like it's crazy. It's family shit. Like This is like bros shit. Like they're my boys. Like I hang out with these guys and love every second of it anyway.
Yeah.
And then when we're making music together, it's like just so sick. You know, they're sick dudes. Like,
it is ideal. Like of all the circumstances to have hit jackpot on, like the kind of space that can help you like flourish and grow. You know.
Yeah.
Like that's the fucking. That's the ticket.
So
that's
it's a total shit, and like.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't work with crews of people or like people I don't fuck with to start with. But you just gotta know people when you're in the space, and you like when you make a song like, well, the shit we were doing at the beach, bro. Like that was the best time of my life.
So
like cool. it was hectic. All the videos and stuff at that time. Like we had the best time. Couple sunrises, you know, but it was like so worth it. Like,
it comes across in the music, you know what I mean? Like you can hear when people are enjoying it the same way you can hear when they're being like forced to play a certain way, or like it's readable, you know. Like
I fuck with that hard. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, you gotta have like it's gotta come from like a real place, like not to sound like fucking
true.
Like, but it's true.
It's so true, and it's like this creative vibe.
Yeah.
And there's so many different creative levels, you know. There's like every different avenue, like. And we're all so like-minded anyway. Like when we get in the studio, it's like we all listen to the same music. We're all on the same page, so we all make the same way of shit, and it's just exciting, you know. I'm pumped for it.
Yeah. What are you listening to
at the moment?
Currently.
I just broke my phone. It's so fucked.
Oh.
So I don't
listen to nothing.
I listen to my own music.
Hype
listening to our demos.
Yeah, that's true, man.
So I don't know.
Prepare yourself.
My phone's a piece of shit right now. So I listen to my bad thoughts.
Alright, that's it. Listen to the demons inside.
I listen to my demons.
Yeah.
Oh man, don't get me started on getting to sleep at night.
Yeah.
That's a whole other story.
We'll come back for the mental health segment of Hypnotics.
We need our own little mental health segment.
Yeah,
post album, but post album.
Oh yeah, straight up.
So on the album, give me more like what's this creative direction? What's some like what like why in terms of the name, in terms of the like the idea of Prospect, like
so Prospect Street, so it's where we recorded it. It's also like, you know, I feel like being on Prospect for the albums we've got coming, I feel like there's a lot a lot that we're trying to do with this, and I feel like
just always been waiting. Now's the time.
I also feel like 50% of people are going to look at it and be like, whoa, this is like not drill and like super singy and super different to anything we've ever done before. But I feel like the other 50% is this sort of shockwave shit, and we've sat down and we've like really pushed each other to fucking be different, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like anything like with putting this shit out together, and if it just goes well, we're gonna be fucking gassed, you know, like this is like it's crazy how it's come together.
Fully.
There's like bangers on
just
the drop.
now that we've like got all the mixes down and stuff, you know what I mean? It's just itching.
Yeah, no, it's
totally.
Actually
It's the weight, you know.
Yeah.
Like, money to put into it, man.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
And like we've just been like we just moved in together.
Fuck yeah, cool.
Yeah,
that makes sometimes can make creating harder, but I'm feeling like it's probably really positive.
It's a total vibe. Like from Prospect Street to our new house, it's like so we're still in Newtown. But now it's like, you know, it's just go time. We're just putting all our cash into it and making it all work out and trying to get it to the best quality we can. But, you know, this drop's not like a club album or like a rap album or like a street album. You know, it's music. It's trying to be as musical as it can. I want everyone who doesn't like rap to like this album. And I want everyone who's into rock and stickies and all these different vibes to look at this and be like, that's not just like Benny's not just a good rapper. This boy's like prodigy singer Steve's, you know, like. So we need that vibe, you know, we need to show that vibe.
Too as well. Thank you.
I'm fucking keen.
You just wait.
So who are some of the folks, like, it's getting a bit musical? Have you got any features on that you can share with us?
Actually, we do. My little brother's got a track. My little brother, MT, my little brother Matt, from Canberra. He's on our first single that's going to be coming out, Runaway.
Fuck yeah.
We had like an empty verse. He came up. A few drinks with him, and next thing you know, he's spitting bars over. We're like, yo, lay that shit down. That's fresh.
Like literally keeping it in the family.
That's
cool, man.
But in terms of features, like I feel like lots of people do features to like elevate themselves to this level.
Yeah.
And like people look at it like marketing and trying to get like big names for features, whereas I feel like we just need to establish what our sound is first.
And
before looking out,
like this, like we've got our sound within the two. There's already two of us on it. You know what I mean? So I feel like. Especially like it's my first actual project putting out. We wanted to sort of be the spotlight, in the project, like,
and figure out what we can even offer someone for a feature.
That's what I mean.
If you listen seriously, like you listen to the album, it's like the first song, or like I don't know what order it'll be in, but it's like there's like full singing, like trance, like riding the bus, headphones in kind of music, and then just complete club bangers, like total club bangers, and then fucking chill boom bap stuff.
Breakup songs.
Heaps of breakup songs.
It's like
it's deep on it, bro. We did some crazy shit.
It's for everyone though. Like that's cool. Like I think, you know, I'm huge into hip hop, but I'm also huge into, you know, Latin, soul, R&B, like jazz, all that sort of shit. So I think
which
it's
is
really
so
cool.
dope, you know, and that's what I feel like. That's just the world, and like it's so easy to be a rapper boy and be like, I only listen to rap. I only want to do rap, you know, and then like after a while, it just opens up and like, you know, we got fucking, at the end of the day, the album's really just for us. We love the songs and like, we're happy with it, and there's little bits, you know, like, even like our first single, like we got 8 mixes done from my mate, and he's like sent like the 8th mix, and I've like listened to it and I'm like, bro, I'm so sorry. And he's like, this is my boy in Melbourne, you know. Shout out Obscene Digital, sick fucking legend, he's my boy. But yeah, like Prod by Obscene, I'm like, been working with him for ages, and like I've just called him again, and we got the last one fixed, and then he's like done the master, and then we did 4 masters to get it right, you know. But it's just that back and forth shit, you know. And I feel like I've never been that critical before. I've always like listened, if it's just a song of mine, if it's just rap stuff, I'm like, yeah, sounds good, let's roll with it.
It works,
There's so many different layers, and I'm trying to listen through it, like through everyone's ears as well as ours, you know, which is fucking so hard to do. But
totally, you do have that like marketing sensibility at some point when you've been doing it for a minute, trying to like predict what people are going to think, or but also keeping it real.
At the end of the day, like when we recorded these songs, we had no idea where they were going. We had no idea it was going to be on a drop.
Yeah.
And when we look back at it and we're like, we need to take this to a drop, it sort of showed what was happening, you know?
Yeah. So you've got a personal single coming out October 14th.
Yeah.
Get Some.
Tell
me about that. That's going to be out like probably like 2 weeks before this. So give us a bit of like maybe behind the scenes. People have heard it already.
Yeah. So Get Some it's the last of 5 songs I made with Smack and like the No One Boys from Brisbane. Mm-hmm. So I flew up there 2 years ago now, which is such a spin out for me, like so long. I just want to get up there so bad. They're all my bros and like the borders are shut. I just want to be in Brisbane so bad with these lads there. But yeah, it's the last one. We did like Know About Me, Aim for the Head, The Area, Tombstone, and then this is the last one. and it's like a feature rap thing. So there's like 4 artists on it, all like Old No One guys, Headmaster Dean, Zealot, and Smack.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a full vibe song. Like there's this crazy violin sample in it. It's all screechy and crazy and sounds like irregular. Like it's not meant to flow, but it does. You know.
Yeah, sick.
And yeah, it was mixed and mastered by Poncho.
Cool.
Which is like Mountains Head.
More Mountains vibes.
Yeah.
What's his name? Kev?
Yeah, Kev.
Sweet Kev?
Yeah, he's my boy too.
Yeah.
Shout out Kev. He's an absolute legend. Dix did me a massive solid, you know. He's been in the industry for a very long time.
Yeah.
He did
playing
the whole
trumpet
stint,
in fucking...
his whole life.
What's it called? What was Pixie's place called?
He's at Truselli's.
Truselli's playing trumpet at 16.
Yeah.
Fucking like, he's been in the scene for a minute. Hey.
Oh, for sure. And like, his just engineering skills are fucked. And like, he never wanted to do other stuff. And you know, like, I grew up with his his little sister and shit, and I've known him forever. And when I made all these songs with Smack in Brisbane, I sent them to him and I was like, bro, we need an engineer to do this stuff for me. And he's like, I'm not doing it anymore, you know? And I'm like, bro, like, please, can we work on something? Because he's just so good, you know? And he just took me under his belt, took all the songs on. He's like, I'll do the 5 for you, you know, like bro, like full bro shit. And did it all. And then, you know, Smack came down for this gig ages ago. They got cancelled. It was at the Metro, this massive, it was like HP Boys and shit. And the whole thing got pulled. And he was like stuck in Sydney. And he's like, bro, like, I've just flown here. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm like, come to the mountains, you know, I'll take you to the Blue Mountains, bro, and show you around. So we went to Katoomba and I like took him to the cliffs, and we went to Kevin's house, and Kevin and Smack met, which I never thought was going to happen because he's like Brizzy boy, you know, like it just happened.
Yeah.
Spent the day there and did this whole thing and showed Smack like the mountains and shit, and had this mad like mystic day out there, you know. But yeah, I feel like Get Some like is the staunchest and biggest vibe of the 5 songs we made.
Fuck yeah.
And I feel like they've all been a build up to this stuff, like, you know, almost all of them got playlisted and almost all of them went well, and I feel like this one's gonna like top it off, hopefully, for the releases we did there. So
in terms of going well, like you've gotten some Triple J attention. It's a trope to be like, no Triple J, but also like fuck yeah, man, like that's cool. Like that mainstream knowledge and recognition is something that like is tantamount to your effort. How's that been? What have they done for you?
I feel like that went really well, that song. So I was running out of time, and like I made that with my boy Semantic One, and like we just made that whole thing and put it on Triple J Unearthed, and it started getting reviewed, and then bang, like we just got a message through like one of my boys who we'd organised to organise it for us, and he just saw it, and like even like when it aired, he was just saying how it's like it's just not drill, it's just like exciting for them to hear something that is just calmer, and you know, like it's still street rap. We still rap, like we still do hard shit, you know. It's like we're still there, we're still active doing this shit, but we just don't talk directly about that and try and make music. And I feel like that song is like the first little edge towards where we went with the album. Yeah. And I was just gassed that they liked it, and they were like, they played that as opposed to like all this hard rap I've been putting out, and put out this chill song, and they were like, you know, it sort of like gave us the tick for this album. Yeah, and fucking, you know, Declan played it on his show, and that's mad. Shout out to him. And I think like if they like that, they've got to like what's coming as well. You know, we put in yards for this shit. You know, it's like mad soulful shit. So hopefully they plug it.
Yeah, fully, man.
Yeah, it's this thing where for ages as a young artist, with lots of artists, you know, there's this Triple J thing where people, if it gets there, it's like you're
selling out.
Yeah, but it's like you just want to go as far as you can with it, and like music is as much a business as it is music. And like, if my stuff's getting played on Triple J, but I can still make a whole album with this cunt and love our songs.
Your songs on the radio.
Yeah, fully.
But still, if we can still make these songs and make them real, and like we're not thinking about anyone else in this shit. Like when I recorded that song, I was not like, this is a Triple J song.
No, I
made that song because I liked that song, and then it got played.
Yeah.
And I feel like if people want to try and say this sold out shit, they just don't know what's going on.
I think the big like misconception, and maybe people who don't like, not even necessarily just music, but like create in general as a sense of like a career. The misconception is that like, oh, if you get picked up by like a bigger name like that they're in some way tailoring or like making you make it in some kind of way. Yeah. I think that's what people think. Like,
I agree with that. That was just made, like we recorded that, and like we had no expectation, you know, like we had PR and stuff behind it, and we got a team behind it. Yeah. But it wasn't like solidified that it was going to happen. It just happened, which I just think, you know, it just shows a testament to like being real, and like I always want to be real, and I work with people that are real. Yeah. And I feel like it's not going to change. There's nothing that's going to influence me to make a song that's going to go on the radio, because like every song that is made to not go on the radio goes on the radio. Look at right now, like 10 years ago, like love music, if you were crazy, like if you were touring and you were off the rails but you were releasing love music, even if your off the railsness was too much, it'd take you off the radio. Yeah. Whereas now it's like people are releasing music about like crazy drug related crazy shit and like living a life that's definitely in there, but when they're represented in public they're fine, so it gets played on the radio. And what's going to happen in 5 years, bro? You know, like it just changes all the time. And I'm not going to try and fix or tailor myself to that because it's just fake. You know?
It's just going to change.
Yeah, it's just going to change.
What's the point?
Yeah, that's it. And just like being true to yourself just lasts the test of time. Every rapper I listen to or musician I listen to is like done it for a long time and done it good. My favourite musicians are the most unknown. Yeah. Still, you know.
Is that the sort of shit like, you know, looking at young yourselves, like writing bars in your rooms and shit, is that the sort of advice you'd give? Like, I know it sounds so fucking stupid, or be yourself, but like, is that what you would tell yourself? Like, what kind of shit do you want to know?
I say to do everything you think you shouldn't do. Like, when you're a young 17-year-old rapper and you're like, I need to rap, it needs to sound, it can't be like, because you rap and then there's like a million subgenres in rap. And it's like, if I'm going to rap, I'm going to be a drill rapper. Or like heaps of people when this phase had happened, I'd message these young dudes even from the mountains or like from anywhere. But I'd be like, what sort of music do you want to do? And everyone's like, oh, I rap, but I just do drill rap. And then it's like, when it changes, it's like, you're going to just quit.
Yeah, what do you mean
you're
just?
Stop.
Like, like what?
It's just, that's what happens when you start, because waves pick kids up. When the wave happens, all the kids go, bang, like, this is sick, this is a drill wave, and they all get on it. But yeah, like, just don't be scared to do fucking crazy shit. It took me like 6 years to link up with Benny to like be confident enough to do whatever the fuck I want.
Some of my favorite,
same as you, bro. Like
fully, Some of my favorite rappers, some of my favorite hip hop albums are the ones that completely break the mold of like the standardized, like the Bad Not Good and Ghostface Killer. Like that's one of my favorite fucking hip hop albums ever. For sure. And it is so musical, and it is like it's got all of the other elements that are just totally aside from hip hop. But it's that like, you know, redirecting the norm or whatever. Like the algorithm.
And it's like, that's the thing, like the norm is never going to just be fresh. Like it never stays the same. So like any kid that's jumping on a wave, everyone I know who was young and made a massive change that wave. And did it differently and wasn't scared to do it, you know, like it's the ultimate shit. And like the way that everything's opening with society and shit at the moment, like everything's more open, people should be more ready to do crazy shit, you know, like look at Boy George. Imagine being Boy George. Like, you know, back in the day, like that is fucking in its own way.
Fully,
that is so fucking before its time.
100%,
so
man. He was a pioneer.
Changing it and changing it and changing it. And you look at the people like on the proper top of the whole ladder, and like they change it up.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I don't listen to like crazy mainstream shit, but like even like fucking, you know, all the big dogs like Travis Scott's and Drake's and all these people in the world running this food chain from the top, like they continually hit young audiences. And continually change their accent and even the way they dress and everything in songs to hit this whole new wave of people. Like, which I think's in a weird way fucked. Like I wouldn't be doing that shit. We want to be real, but at the same time, it's just crazy to see how you can generate it. You know, and it's just like this following generation of this modern time is fucked. Like
social media kind of like that influence of like this is what's cool now or whatever. Like.
But people don't realise what's cool is about to change always.
Genuinely just be you. Like, whatever is cool to you is what is cool to you.
Exactly,
That's literally
that's what people dig, you know, like, people dig that, and it's like longevity. You know, like, I'm in this shit for longevity. I don't want to, like, have a drill album that goes hectic for 1 year and then just, like, pack up bags with every drill artist. You know, like, Like, I'm
it's
been
a
doing
career.
this for years. This is, like, I'm 6 years deep and I don't have any intention of stopping, like. And now I'm with these boys and we've all moved in, like, I feel like there's no intention of us stopping, you know, and, like, this is no joke. We're here to fucking make this happen. Like,
fully,
You know, so we're just going to keep real to us until everyone fucks with it. And if they don't, they can fuck off. You know?
Straight up.